Pelosi has won a fourth term as Speaker of the House, overcoming a narrow margin to land the 214 votes needed to keep the gavel. Joining us now, Georgia Congressman Jody Hice. Congressman, congratulations on becoming a member of the 117th Congress. As you look ahead, is there going to be Is it going to be a smoother road for this Congress than in the 116th?
Well, it certainly is not going to be a smooth road for the Democrats. Nancy Pelosi barely became the Speaker of the House. She had 5 defectors, and that's just really the tip of the iceberg. There are some major issues within the Democratic Party, and she's got an extremely narrow lead. She's flying by the seat of the pants. She has just come off the 116th Congress, where she led miserably. I think fewer than 30 bills were passed during those 2 years. She has the squad involved. It's going to be very problematic for her. And so it's going to be a very interesting 117th Congress on multiple fronts.
One of the criticisms Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy directed at her from the podium before he handed her the gavel today was the fact that he feels that she has delayed coronavirus aid, delayed it before the election, so as not to hand President Trump perhaps a message that he could run and win on. Here is Kevin McCarthy on that.
During some of the most challenging times for our country, I felt Congress was on the sidelines. When the need for more pandemic relief was obvious, did we deliver in a timely lifeline Americans needed? Or did we say nothing was better than something until politics dictated our actions?
So now that the presidential election is over, suddenly the House votes for $2,000 stimulus checks. Congressman?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way Nancy Pelosi plays the game. It's all about power. It's what's in her best interest rather than what's in the best interest of the United States. She uses must-pass bills to try to stick into it all sorts of horrible, radical left-wing pieces of legislation. The stimulus package, in fact, that we voted on just a couple of weeks ago, thousands of pages, we didn't even have time to read it, and yet we're expected to vote on it. It's her philosophy of pressing the needle, tightening the screws without us having all the information. It's just par for the course for her. It's the way she operates.
Meantime, there is an argument going on within Republican circles on Capitol Hill as to whether or not Senator Ted Cruz is wise or is right in challenging the Electoral College vote, as he said he intends to do on Wednesday. He's got a dozen or so senators voting with him. But there are now 18 prominent Republicans on Capitol Hill who say the election is over. The votes should be certified. They're not going to make any objections. You can add Liz Cheney, the number 3 member of the House of Representatives, to that list now. What do you make of this argument going on Republican?
Well, look, the issue at hand here is not about a particular election. It is about election integrity, about election security, and anyone, Republican or Democrat, who is unconcerned enough to investigate, to check into vicious allegations of election fraud, shame on them. Look, this entire republic hinges upon the voice of the people to be expressed at the voting booth. And if that integrity is lost, then we ultimately lose our republic. The allegations are serious. They are spread across many states. We cannot sweep this under the rug. We cannot turn our head as though this is not an important issue. It's something that absolutely highlighted, underscored, we must address and look into.
Well, how do you feel about election security in your home state of Georgia for Tuesday's runoff?
I'm very concerned with it. There's a couple of things perhaps that may be helpful, but the people of Georgia are very concerned. The Secretary of State has let us down. He has not provided election security, although he claims it's the most secure election in history. He is the only one that I know of ever that's made that kind of assertion, particularly under these circumstances now. But there are going to be about 8,000 additional people watching at the polls and counting, poll watchers, observers. That's good. The more eyes there are, the less likelihood of fraud taking place. So I'm hopeful that there will be enough security that people will get out and vote. This is a critical election. And to sit at home, this is not the time to do that.
Congressman Jody Hice, Republican of Georgia, thank you.
You're welcome.